I don't know about you, but there are a lot of conflicting feelings about Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach. Some people love to have a Chol HaMoed that gives them time to go places, to do things. And the way it is this year, especially those of you who are abroad, that you have 2 days and then Shabbat, it's a lot of time to sit, to be. I wanna make a suggestion, because when you look at the reading in the Torah that we have for Shabbat Chol HaMoed, also there's a lot of things going on. There's Moshe and his relationship with God and what he wants it to be like. There's the commandment to recreate the tablets, and this desire of being face to face with God, and how do we do it? The 13 attributes of compassion that God tells us when you sin, this is the mantra, this is how you come back to me, which also means that we're inevitably in this relationship going to sin. I want to suggest a way of thinking of Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach as a moment, as a moment to pause. It's a moment to take an inventory. You know, we came out of Mitzrayim in haste, and we're on our way to Yam Suf. But for a moment, catch your breath and ask yourself, what did you leave in Mitzrayim? Were there things that you left behind that if you had one more minute, you would have taken them with you? Or maybe in that hastiness, you grab things that are too much or too heavy or a burden perhaps. I want to think of Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach as the way we think sometimes of the 18 minutes between the time that the candle lighting is designated and Shabbat really comes in, and we steal those moments at times. But the truth is that the Talmud tells us that there are numbers and relates to the things that God created, Erev Shabbat Ben Hashmashot. In this in-between time, there were still things that creation wasn't complete without. So I want us to take this Shabbat of Shabbat Chol HaMoed and think about it as those 18 minutes. Why is it important? It's important because it's not only a question of how we left Mitzrayim, how we left Egypt, but it's also a question of how we're going to make it to the splitting of the sea. Do we want to get there out of breath with no understanding of who we are and where we're really going? Or do we want to take a moment to be accountable to who we are, to take inventory on who we are, so that when we get to Yam Suf and Shvi Shel Pesach, on the 7th day of Pesach, that we make a choice. We make the choice to enter into the desert. We make a choice to go through the seed of reeds. We make a choice not only to leave Mitzrayim, but we make a choice to enter into the journey that the desert will take us on. As I like to often suggest, it's not only a question of who we're running away from, but who we're running away to. When we enter into the sea of reeds on Shvi Shel Pesach, is that going to be because we're running away from the Egyptians? Is that going to be because we're running towards the one and only, towards the divine, towards God, towards the Divine Mother? So I want to suggest to think of this Shabbat, of Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach, as a moment of pause, as inventory. Like we say, like the Mishnah tells us, where are you going? Know where you came from and where you're going. To not get lost in the exhaustion of the preparations, in the exhaustion of all the words and the text of the Haggadah. But this Shabbat, sit, take an inventory, look at yourselves, ask yourself, what have I left behind? What am I grateful that I left behind? Is there something that I wanted to reclaim, that I left behind and I still really want? Is this an opportunity to really allow ourselves a new identity and to walk into freedom, not only walk away from slavery, but walk into freedom? And to be able to pause is an element of freedom. I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a Chag Sameach.